Michael Jordan once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Now, if missing shots is all it takes to be as good as him, then I think I'm a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. I don't think it's exactly because he misses shots that he's so good, but I think what he means is that when he misses shots, when he loses games, he's able to persevere through his failure and his suffering. And that's what drives him to get better. Today we hear the story of the Transfiguration in the Gospel. Jesus is showing his glory to Peter, James, and John on the mountain. And the traditional understanding is that he did that so that they would be prepared for the Passion. Both right before and right after the Transfiguration in Matthew's Gospel, Jesus makes a prediction of his passion. He tells the disciples that he's going to suffer and die. Christ shows his glory to Peter, James, and John so that they'll be strengthened when it comes time for Christ to be crucified. Now, it didn't really work. When the crucifixion came around, they all ran and hid. But the disciples learned from their mistake later after the resurrection, and we can learn from it too. When the crucifixion comes, we have to remember the Transfiguration, the triumphant glory of God over all of history and his power over our lives. When we are suffering, all we can see is darkness. It can seem like there's no way out and things will always be hopeless. But in those times, we can always cling to Christ, to the victory of his cross. We can embrace the cross just like Michael Jordan was able to persevere through his failures. He was able to gain a victory even out of defeat or a weakness by allowing it to make him a better player. A good player is able to win a lot of games, but only a great player can allow a failure to make him better. That's how players become really great. A good person is naturally generous or hardworking or kind, but only a saint is able to embrace the cross. That's where the real victory comes from. We all suffer, and embracing that suffering for God is an extremely difficult thing, but it's the call of every Christian. Jesus says, "Take up your cross daily," and we do that in a special way in Lent. And it's a bit cliche to remember that Catholics always say that you should offer up your suffering, but it's true. In that moment when we're going through something really difficult, we can imagine ourselves offering that suffering on the altar, placing it on the altar with Christ, so that God can bring good out of it. He can save souls through it and cause us to grow in holiness. It's a really difficult thing. Sometimes we have to pray for the grace to do it. But that's how we become the men and women God created us to be. So today, let's pray for the grace to accept whatever crosses God gives us from day to day. And know that he doesn't ever give us more than we can handle. We can always cling to him, especially as he's present with us in the Blessed Sacrament. He comes into our lives so that our suffering becomes his suffering. He joins us in it, guaranteeing that we'll have the strength to persevere. With the strength that he gives us in the Eucharist, we can remember the Transfiguration, the glory of his victory over death, and we will have courage when we have to face the cross.